I am Rob from iTech Pickers. We are Monday night. I am coming back to you for a new update on the coronavirus outbreak uh, inside China and out of China. Here is someone noticed this and it's kind of floating on the internet right now. It's a very ironic piece of news that was published in 1918 in an American newspaper. Spanish influenza in Honolulu. One case of Spanish influenza has been reported in Kaimuki, Honolulu, while there are 13 cases in Honolulu hospitals. These latter being patients taken from two vessels arriving recently from the Orient and from the mainland. The health authorities claim there is no danger of a serious epidemic. So I wanted to start tonight's show with a little irony. If you know the story behind this piece of news article from 1918, that was published during the First World War when the U.S. Was sending troops to Europe. There was this big fighting between the Allied forces against the Empire of Germany, and of course we know that a huge number of millions of people died during that war. But at that time, most newspapers were censored. And of course, if you notice in the article, they say that no, there's nothing to worry about. It's just the normal flu. There's no epidemic here. And we now we know in retrospect that the Spanish influenza is probably is the biggest pandemic in modern history. It killed between 50 and 100 million people worldwide. But we know that in retrospect. But at that time, the politicians, they were telling to people, "Don't panic. If you talk about this, you're crazy. It's nothing to worry about. It's not an epidemic. It's just the normal flu." And the same politicians that we have today, now we are seeing them come out in the media and tell you that you should not really worry about what's happening in China. It's their problem. We're not going to be affected and all this. But always keep in mind, these politicians, they will throw you under the bus when that plague comes to your country. And that's why I'm making these updates now. I will keep this one short because I have other matters to attend to. But I will try to step up the updates and try to make an update every day because this is getting worse by the day. So we need to keep the discussion going. So I will show you some news from today, and I will come back tomorrow for another update. This one is from Japan News. Now they found 60 more cases of the coronavirus on the same the boat that they had stopped in Yokohama. So that's bringing the total to 135. So we have no idea how many other cases they are going to find on that ship. But the important thing to remember is that just one person that left the ship in Hong Kong spread the disease to 135 at least, and there are more people maybe waiting to be tested. So this is the big news today, and now you have all of these people, they have no idea when they're going to leave, and they are uh, in some kind of a house arrest on that ship, even though they have done nothing wrong. So it's yeah, it's as bad as it gets. So 135 cases on one ship. And here, more news from Japan. Samoa becomes the third country to restrict entry from Japan due to new coronavirus. So basically, Japan has only been doing their job. They have no responsibility in this outbreak. They've done their job. They have stopped the boats containing people who are infected, and they are basically they are doing what they are supposed to do. But now they're getting Japan is getting blocked from other countries because they fear that Japan is a country of infected people like China. So this is an example of Japan being left to carry the shit bag, because of the cover up by the Chinese government, and now Japan is getting punished for it, even though all they did was do their job and stop infected people from going around the world in that boat. And it's ironic because Samoa, this is an island nation in the Pacific that's kind of close to Japan. And during the Spanish flu epidemic, they are one of the nations that lost so much. I think they lost about 25% of their population died of the Spanish influenza. They were completely vulnerable when that shit hit their nation. So I would think that they're scared of being hit again by another epidemic like this, and they remember what happened 100 years ago. So, but Japan, so far they've only done their job, and they're paying for the mismanagement and the cover up of the Chinese government in their country. But now that plague is out of China, and it's gonna affect so many other countries. You have probably heard of Chen Qiushi. He was a citizen journalist in Wuhan, and he made videos with his cell phone where he went out and filmed the hospitals to show the people outside of China that the situation was not as we are being told by the liars in the mainstream media. He filmed the body bags lined up in the hospitals, the people in the waiting rooms having to wait in hospitals where there's no one to take care of them, and the body bags on the seats on the floor around them. He made a commitment to get this information and smuggle it out of China and show it to the rest of the world. Well, he knew that the police were trying to find him, and it seems that now his mother is not his mother is there. Now he has disappeared. He has been taken away by the police, and it's likely that because we know how things are dealt with in China, that he probably won't be seen again. If he does, I hope so, but this is what happens when you speak too much in China.
但是我会振作起来。只要我活在这个城市，我会继续做我的报道。我只说我看见的，我听见的。妈逼，我连死都不怕。 我怕你共产党吗？
大家好，我是秋实的妈妈。今天晚上，秋实说她要去方舱医院，之后呢，晚上7、8点钟到现在2点了，凌晨2点，一直是失联状态，和她联系不上。我在这里恳请广大网友，尤其是武汉的朋友，帮我个忙，帮我找找秋实。
Here, this one is from the Taiwan News. There's a rise in sulfur dioxide in on the radars over the city of Wuhan, which is a sign of mass cremations. There are so many cremations right now that it's affecting the climate and the environment, and it's being seen on radars. So, they want us to believe there's only 1,000 people dead. The truth is there's like at least 10,000, and the cremation, the place where they cremate the bodies, they're working 24/7. So there's at least 1,000 people bodies being cremated every day at least. So that's that's at least now there's at least 10,000 people dead of the coronavirus in Wuhan. Finally, I don't know to call these numbers the reported numbers by the World Health Organization, and they are getting these reports from Chinese state TV. Now 43,000 and 99 confirmed cases. We know for a fact that's totally inaccurate. There are probably like 500,000 people infected right now in China. Deaths 1,018. That is a complete farce. There's at least 10,000 people dead. Recovered 4,000. What's interesting, I guess, is these numbers, which would seem to be accurate, is that you have a 19% chance of falling into a serious condition if you are infected. As far as the deaths, these numbers just don't add up, so I'm not gonna comment them. Here it's interesting. I think we have good news in the sense that outside of China, there's only 2 deaths. So that would mean that if you are treated properly in a good hospital, you have a much better chance of surviving. So there's only 2 deaths, and many people have recovered. And most of these deaths in China, well, this number is a stupid number anyway. It's not accurate, but I think a lot of people are dying right now in China because they're not getting appropriate medical care. So yeah, you have a lot of people recovering, and when they are being hospitalized in countries with good medical care. So this is this is a good thing, but of course, when you have if you have millions of people infected, even if you only have a 2% case fatality rate, it's still going to be like 20,000 people dying for every 1 million infected. So it's still significant. Here, transmission rate, the R naught. 3 to 4, which is twice the transmission rate of Spanish flu. 2%. From the numbers we are getting from outside of China, it seems like an accurate number. But Spanish flu at a 2.5% fatality rate. So this is pretty much just as bad. The incubation period, it's unclear because someone came up today with saying that the incubation period could be up to 24 days and not 14 days. But it's very difficult to know who's telling the truth. There's one last thing though. I want to show you something. This is something that blew my mind when I saw this morning with the World Health Organization when they gave a press conference, and they had a slip of the tongue, and now everybody knows who they are working for, and they're not working for us. They are working for the Communist Party. They're not just grossly incompetent. They are covering up for the Communist Party, okay? And I will explain to you why, when that slip of the tongue happened during the conference. But now it's clear. But notice these statistics. You have China, and, by country and territory. So China and these other countries, there are other countries there, right? You have Japan. Now they have 161 cases because of that boat that they keep pulling cases out of the boats. So far they have had 135 people. So it's bringing the total to 161. You got Singapore, Hong Kong, and if you notice that Hong Kong has one death. And there you have the Philippines. They have one death here. Okay. So just remember these numbers. So you have 2 people that are dead outside of China. Of course, these guys from the World Health Organization, they know that. But I will show you what they said at the press conference. And I will explain to you why they said that. So this is the big boss of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros. I can't even pronounce his name right, so I'll just call him Dr. Tedros. Adhanom whatever. So Tedros, he is saying that. Listen closely to what he's saying now.
As usual, I will start with the latest numbers of coronavirus. As of 6 a.m. Geneva time today, there were 40,235 confirmed cases in China and 909 deaths. Outside China, there are 319 cases in 24 countries and 1 death.
So that's the big thing. Do you think this guy is stupid and he hasn't seen the statistics? No. He said there's 1 death outside China. And that kind of language is consistent with a communist shill. Because when you're not familiar with these things, you don't understand that. But there's a type of language that is typical of pro-communist, pro-China people, is that they do not want to recognize that Hong Kong is a different entity than mainland China. So this guy, he had that slip of the tongue where he wanted to show the rest of the world that he's a pro-China. A pro-China communist who does not recognize Hong Kong. So he said there's only 1 case outside of China because he has been given the mandate by China to not recognize Hong Kong. And it would have been interesting if that when there is 1 case in Taiwan, one dead people in Taiwan, it will be interesting to see this two-faced communist shill not recognize the dead person in Taiwan because he will be told by the Chinese authorities not to recognize Taiwan. So if you had any doubts who this individual was working for, now you know that they are working for the Chinese, and that's why they are giving you fake information, the fake numbers from which are the same that are being given by the Chinese state television to the very people that they are trying to keep ignorant in China. And so the World Health Organization, they have no credibility. They are Chinese shills. They're working for the Chinese, and that's why they don't care about us. They care about the Communist Party of China not losing face. That's all they care about. So that's pretty much it for tonight. Please come back tomorrow. Please subscribe to my channel. I will try to keep you updated on a daily basis about this thing. Hit the like button if you like this video. If you don't like it, you can just press the I don't like button. So I will see you soon.